What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for the podcast today. And our guest is going to be Miss Arwyn Asteria. She is one of our best of the best inductees. And on today's podcast, what we're going to be going over is a lot of things, really, from her favorite music, what it's like running an OnlyFans account, what makes her special, we could say. Really everything. This is going to be a great episode if you're a customer or a creator. So sit back, relax, check it out, and I hope you like it. All right, everybody. Thanks for being with us today on the podcast. We've got our guest, Miss Arwyn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for doing this podcast with us. So, you got a dog.
I do have a dog. Sorry.
Oh my God, we got to see the dog.
Oh yeah,
we got to see the puppy.
See the dog. Come here.
Yes.
Come here. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Look a boy. Look a boy.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Come on. He's a little shy. This is Bo.
Oh, dogs are the best. How old is he?
He's about a year old. We have two dogs. Yeah, we have 2 dogs, a cat, and a bunny. So it's a full zoo over here.
Oh man, all the cuddles all the time.
All the snuggles.
Oh man, yeah, I want to get a dog, but I have a 19-year-old cat, so she doesn't do well with other animals. So no
19 though, that's so good.
Yep, I've had her literally since she was maybe about maybe 2 or 3 months old.
That's adorable. I had a Maine Coon for about 18 years, and that was like my best friend.
Yeah, I got this cat in 7th grade. What happened was I was riding home from my best friend's house at the time. I had this electric scooter, and there's some kids on the side of the road just giving cats to people. So they stopped me, and I was like, well, I want a cat.
You're like, this is fate. This was meant to be.
Yep, I remember I got home and I told my grandparents, hey, I want to keep this cat. Don't call the pound on it. And they were reluctant, but they were like, okay, fine. And we already had a dog at the time. So, but yeah, I've had her ever since.
That's adorable. Yeah, we're big animal lovers over here.
Yep, gotta be. Animals are amazing. You know what I really want is a pet pig.
See, my friend has one and they named it Porkney. So not Courtney, they named it Porkney. And it's like this big. And then they got it, I think a duck. They got it a duck best friend. And they just have it outside in this like enclosed habitat. And the duck and the pig are best friends. That's
pretty cool. There's a page on Instagram called, I think it's on Instagram, might be TikTok, called Ducks Make Great Pets. And so it's a duck and a golden retriever, and they're like best friends, and it's ridiculously cute. I can't stand it.
That's so cute. There was, I think, a TikTok video of a duck, and every time like the little boy comes home from the school, the duck goes to the bus stop to meet the little boy off the bus, and he gets really excited and starts flapping his feathers.
I think I've actually seen that one.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cute.
Yes, it is. So now, as far as OnlyFans goes, because that's what we're here to talk about, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? You know, your name is Arwyn Asteria.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So how long have you been on OnlyFans?
Only since October. I think at like the 1st or 2nd week of October, I started. I was a dog groomer for about 7 years. And then I was like, my body hurts. I can't do this anymore. And I had friends who did OnlyFans. I saw the hype on Twitter. You know, it was all over Facebook. And I was like, oh, let's give it a try. Let's see if I can do this. And then within my first month, I shot up to like the top 10%. And I'm like, nice. This is working. So I quit my dog grooming job. And now I do this full time.
Very nice. So how exactly did you make the decision to start an OnlyFans? Like what clicked in your head, or what was your main motivation?
I was talking with my husband. We had talked about it like on and off the past year. Like, what if I made an OnlyFans? And like in my head, I was serious, but I kind of wanted to like approach the topic, but have him come to me first. And he saw that I was just, I don't know, I was just getting really depressed, dog grooming, not the animals, but just the industry itself. And one day he was like, you love taking photos. Why don't you just make an OnlyFans? And I'm like, let's do it. And as soon as he said it, I made my account.
Have your blessing?
Approved 15. Yeah, I got approved 15 minutes later. I started
Oh, wow.
telling all of my friends, and then I think my first day I got like 12 subscribers, and when you start
Hmm.
off it's really hard, and he was like, "Whoa." And I'm like, "Whoa, it's working." So it was mostly his idea, but we had been talking about it for almost a year, but he was the one who was like, "You got this, babe. Go do it." So, thank you, husband.
It's always great when you have a supportive spouse.
Yeah, he's my cheerleader. He's great.
Yeah. So do you shoot content with him as well?
We started to in the beginning. We did customs only, and I kept most of our content in Dropbox, or
Hmm.
like in the beginning, I did paywalls. But as time went on and the requests got more demanding, he was getting a little bit overwhelmed with it. And
Hmm.
he works 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday, and it ended up becoming almost like a chore for us, and
Hmm.
like kind of tension in our marriage. So one night we were just like, hey, let's do boy and girl content, every once in a while, like when it's his idea. I got rid of my paywalls. I uploaded all of the boy and girl content straight to my feed. Everyone
Hmm.
started loving it. But in terms of like him and I doing it together, it happens every once in a while. I have to keep that healthy boundary within our marriage of doing this for my job versus doing it with my partner that I love.
Hmm.
So it's just more of my thing. Like, he's still supportive, he's just, for him it feels like a chore sometimes. Whoops.
Well, I done fell down.
You did. That was my fault. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm sorry. I pulled it down.
You're all good. So now let's talk about paywalls for a second, because that is a big controversy. Some people
Yes, it's
only do
huge.
paywalls. Yeah, which I'm not a fan of. Nothing against PPV videos at all, but
Mm-hmm.
you got to do, you got to give people something for their subscription, in my opinion. And that's kind of how the website is run and what
I think
we
of it
believe
as
in.
Netflix and Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pay for these monthly subscriptions for, Amazon Prime Video or Hulu, you get everything. There's no
Mm-hmm.
extra, oh, you want the newest movie. It's different because of movie theaters having to release movies, so you have to rent movies. But as far as a set price, you get this amount of content every month and then you release it. I think that's more fair. I think in the beginning, people who are new are pressured to do PPV because that's just what everyone says, send mass messages, have unlocked posts, you need to do this. For me, it just didn't work and I didn't feel right doing it. But because
Mm-hmm.
I was new, I took advice from other people. But then I have friends who are, in the top like 0 point something percent, and they have no paywalls, they have no PPV, everything's on the timeline, everyone gets freebies. And then I have friends who do PPV only in the messages that do well. And just for me personally, I wanted to get rid of it. I was like, you know what, everyone gets everything. I lowered my sub price just because it's a pandemic and I didn't want to feel like I was being greedy with my
Mm-hmm.
sub price, and considering I'm still only like 3 or 4 months into this. So I got rid of all of it. On my free page, I have it, but that's free,
Yeah, of
you
course.
know? Yeah. But as far as my personal page goes, nope, got rid of it. I tried going through all of my like old posts and deleting everything that was considered a paywall. And throughout the month of December, every couple of days, all of my locked posts I started releasing for my fans. So everything that was originally hidden, I was like, you know what? Here's this video. Here's this video. And I got about 5 or 6 videos out, and those went pretty well.
Mm.
So Merry Christmas, everyone.
So when you did that, did you have any pushback from fans who had already purchased your videos?
I had one person who was a little upset. He
Mm-hmm.
said, I think it's kind of unfair that you're releasing this for free when I originally bought it. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I'll give you 50% discount on next month. This just PPV isn't working for me and I don't feel right about it. But how can I make up? Because originally it was only like $10 to buy
Mm-hmm.
them. So I was able to give him 50% off so he would get, half of his money back. And he was like, okay, I understand. But he was the only person out of like 200 people. that was upset. If anyone else was, they never messaged me directly, but I tried my best to like mediate the situation of, I'm redoing my brand, I'm redoing my page. How can I help you? Because I'm very grateful that you did end up purchasing that video.
So give us a rundown of how you operate your page now.
How do I operate my page now? So I basically, Mondays are my big days. Okay, so Mondays are my big days. Husband goes to work, kids go to school, everything's great. I do my hair, my makeup, I do my coffee. And then I think I do about 2 different outfits on Mondays so that I have enough content throughout the week. So Mondays, I drop a shoot. Wednesdays, I drop a shoot. And probably around Thursday or Friday, I'll drop another one. That way there's around 50 new photos throughout the week. Oh,
wow, that's a lot.
And then the prior week, I started doing this thing where I have a poll. So I'll message my subscribers and be like, what do you want to see from me? Give me ideas. And I'll take the top, I think maybe 5 or more ideas, and I'll stick them in a poll and I'll go, hey, vote on what you want to see from me. Because there's only like my imagination only goes so far, I care about what you want. And the last 2 polls have gone really well. So every week I release a full length video based on those polls. So every week my subscribers get about 50 new photos. They get a full length video. Every couple of days I try sending DMs of like personal nudes, because I realize people like that connection. And then throughout the day, I'll catch up on my messages. I'll talk to my fans. Everyone knows I'm a mom. So after about 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm not really active on OnlyFans just because I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing homework, I'm doing all these things.
Gotta live that mom life.
Woo! I try to spoil my people in the daytime, like when you're waking up, if you're having a bad day at work, So in the beginning, it used to be really sporadic. I didn't really have any direction of what I wanted to do, but now it's a schedule, but it's not a schedule. But I try to keep enough new stuff coming so people are excited.
And I assume that's working out pretty well so far?
Oh, it is. Everyone loves it. Like my video from 2 weeks ago had a bunch of bloopers, and I asked under my poll, hey guys, took the video. Do you guys want the bloopers or not? And they were like, yes, leave the bloopers in. So I left the bloopers in, and people messaged me saying it was great. They loved my personality. Like I talk a lot in my videos. Like I'm not like, it's, it's real, but at the same time, like I just put myself in there because I'm just funny and awkward, and the fans seem to really love that.
Yeah, it's always good when you can be entertaining like that. So with that being said, with the changes you've made to your OnlyFans, what is your ranking now?
Like my percentage?
Yeah.
I'm in the top 5.3% now.
Very nice.
So I was stuck around 9 for a little bit. I was stuck around 7, and now I'm teeter-tottering between 5.3 and 5.5. It kind of changes every day, but it's closer to 5.3 on good days.
Very nice. So I want to do a thing here where we respond, let me speak correctly, where we respond, I can't speak either, to last week's comments on last week's podcast. The first one I have is, do you use your real name? I'll answer that for you because I already know that's no. So your stage name. Yeah, so your stage name is Arwyn Asteria, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So how did you come up with that?
So Arwyn, if anyone's Lord of the Ring fans, that's where Arwyn came from. Yeah, but it's spelt differently. So a couple years back, I was in college for creative writing, and I started writing a novel. And it was doing really well. Like I was getting featured on blogs, blah, blah, blah. But the main character's name was Arwyn. So when in the beginning of OnlyFans, I was Lewd Bunny because it was a play off of my gamer name, because I used to stream for Twitch. And I'm like, I'm not really lewd. I post full nudes, that's not working. So when I was rebranding, I went, well, Arwyn's my book name character. And I don't know if you can see the moons behind me, but I'm super into space and astrology. And Asteria means
what's your sign?
I'm Aquarius.
Okay, I'm Scorpio, so we get along.
Yay! Yeah, my birthday's next month, so it's pretty great. But I basically, Asteria means goddess of astrology. So I just went my book character name, and astrology, because that's who I am, and I put them together and everyone loves it.
Nice. So when's your birthday?
February 12th, so 2 days
Okay.
before Valentine's Day.
Everybody remember that and go subscribe on February 12th if you're not already.
Lots of fun birthday stuff coming. I'm so excited.
Woohoo! So let me ask you this. Have you ever had any negative comments, and how did you handle that?
I haven't had anything negative on OnlyFans other than the one customer kind of getting upset that I was releasing stuff that he had paid for. I've had negative on Twitter from trolls, but as far as my subscription fan base, everyone is super positive. You know, I have a couple of them on Snapchat. About a handful of them are kind of like my like not best friends, but we talk about things other than my nature of OnlyFans. We talk about video games, we talk about books, you know. I'm really big into raving and EDM and festivals. So yeah, I got a lot of DJ subscribers and ravers on my page. So it's just a really happy, positive environment. Like if Twitter and Facebook is too much for me, you know, I'll go on to OnlyFans and be like, who's online and who wants to talk to me? I need friends. So they're pretty great.
Yeah, it's always great when you have a community like that. So what is the best outcome that you can hope for with OnlyFans? Like, what is your end goal?
So me and my husband, you know, we have debt, but we don't have that much debt. But, you know, we live in the South. We're very progressive people. Our goal is to essentially move to Colorado and open up a bar. Like that's our dream. You know, we both DJ. He's more a producer than I am. You know, we just want a business that we can run, but I still want to keep OnlyFans whenever that goal happens. So move, better life for my kids, better life for us, you know, get us out of the South and away from these people. No offense, I'm sorry.
Legal weed?
I'm just, yes, that too, because he loves it. But I don't know, we have a lot of goals, and I compare my statistics with friends I've met, and they're like, you're on the right path, just wait for a year from now. You know, so pay off debt, raise my credit. I love OnlyFans. It's probably one of the best things to happen to me besides having my kids, you know, and meeting my man. But it's a great experience. And I get to be a stay-at-home mom for the first time since becoming a mom. So I'm already living the dream for myself, you know.
Nice. So when you're DJing, well, how'd you get into that?
My husband taught me.
That.
So
yeah.
So before I met him, I always wanted to learn, you know, you have controllers and CDJs, which is the mix thing you learn on, but I never knew someone that had it. And when we first met, he had one, and he was like, well, I'll come over to your house and I'll teach you. And I'm like, I got kids. Okay. Why not? You know,
I'm sure there's no ulterior motive.
Right? It was literally music. It was the greatest thing. So he came over, he started showing me. I was really bad at the beginning. You know, we ended up dating. He moved in, you know, life's going great. And about a year ago, last January, I entered a mix contest, and I worked my ass off with this one mix. You know, it has like 2,000 plays on SoundCloud, and I ended up almost winning the competition, but stuff happened. But because of that mix, I got 2 show bookings in my city, and then COVID happened. And there went everything. But throughout quarantine, you know, like during the summer, I did a couple live streams. You know, we both released mixes on SoundCloud. He taught me how to produce a little bit, but I'm deaf in which ear? This ear. Nope, this ear. I'm half deaf in this ear. So production wise and mastering, I'm not really good at, but mixing, I got that. Give me some dubstep and rhythm. So that's my thing. And I put that on my OnlyFans too, my music stuff, and they seem to like it.
So what artists are your favorite, or who are you into right now?
Okay. So I'm really
here we go.
I'm actually wearing a Said the Sky hoodie right now. He's more like melodic dub, future bass. So Said the Sky's up there. You know, Wooly, I have a signed, I guess, flag thing in my dining room. Slander. I like some underground artists, but so that would be like K9, Carbon, you know, Everyone Loves Excision, very into dubstep. Like if COVID didn't happen, I'd be festival bouncing, but you know, what was me?
Yeah,
I just like
happen.
the heavy, I just like the heavy headbanging stuff.
Mm-hmm. So do you only listen to dubstep, or what are some other genres you like to
No,
listen to?
I listen to trap,
Mm-hmm.
like, trap EDM is so much fun. There's Jansen, there's Crank That, there's Bishu, anything that gets your body moving.
Mm-hmm.
I like house. I don't love house music, and house is like boots and cats and boots and cats. I don't know how to dance. I don't have
I don't know
rhythm,
how to
so
dance.
I'll be in the club and I'm like, I don't know what to do, guys. I don't, because it all depends
I
on the
can do
tempo and
this.
BPM. I can move my head, but I also use it's a flow toy. So some people have LED hula hoops and some have
Mm-hmm.
poi. I have an LED levy wand.
Mm-hmm.
So like before COVID, I'd perform on stage throughout a couple venues where I live. So I was doing really good with that. So instead of dancing, I'd rather be flowing in the back, just doing my own thing.
Yeah, my favorite dance is actually this. It's the
See,
best dance in the
that's
world.
just use your finger. Use the finger worm. It's fine. We'll be in the back like this. Hey guys, you vibing? Yeah, I am.
Oh no, there's another one. What is it called? The Bernie, where you just lean back and you're like, oh.
Oh, I do that. When certain songs come on, me and my husband look at each other and we'll start doing this and we're like, hey, and it's just funny because he can dance for some reason. I'm not gifted. I was blessed with a butt and no rhythm. So here we are.
See, I can't dance, but I also play drums. So I have rhythm when it's all discombobulated, but not when I try to move my whole body. Like, what? I've never been able to
drums
figure
are
it out.
so underestimated too. Like everyone in the band is like, oh, the lead guitar or the bass player. And it's like, no, the drums is always the favorite because the drums, with what is it called? The kick, your snare, your hi-hats, like that part I think is the best part.
Well, as far as bands go, the drummer is the time. So you play off the drummer. You can play a different tempo if you want, but if you're not on time with a drummer, you ain't gonna sound good.
When my husband produces inside Ableton, which is a DAW, some people use GarageBand, Fruity Loops, FL. He always sets out his drums first before adding the melody and the risers and the serum sounds and everything. It's always the kicks and snares that are laid out first in the bars.
See, myself, I'm not really into the EDM music, mostly because I'm a drummer, because most of the rhythms are just the same eighth note. And it's like, man, I could play that when I was in 7th grade. I'm into metal, so Whitechapel.
I've
Darkest
been
Hour.
to a couple Slayer shows.
Actually, funny story. I got into metal because of Slayer from was it? Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Yep, the song "Raining Blood." I loved it. Just dun, 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 I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then it was all downhill.
You're like,
from
this
there.
is amazing. Before EDM, I was actually a Warped Tour kid. So like between 2004 to 2011, A Day to Remember, Asking Alexandria, August Burns Red, I was very much a scene alternative baby. And then, Skrillex was from first to last. He was Sonny Moore, and then he became Skrillex. So everyone was like, we're going to go from, like alternative music to dubstep music. So I just kind of evolved.
Very nice. Back in the day, back when I lived in California, I was in a band and we actually did a battle for Warped Tour, and we almost made it to Warped Tour. It was kind of a rigged competition, but
it's hard. My friend did that in Virginia. What year was it? It was probably between 2013 and 16, but they worked their butts off and they were able to play at Warped Tour. I forget which one, but they were out of Virginia, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yep, sometimes I miss being in a band, but I also don't miss all the headaches that come with being in a band and just trying to rely on other people to be reliable. Like back at home, thankfully, for the most part, we were all pretty good about that. We were all skilled. We all showed up when we were supposed to show up, and we all did our part, except for one person. And then life happened, and that was no more. Then I went to Texas.
And then I came to Texas and things got better. Yeah, teamwork. Yes. I'm always the person who's in charge and making sure everyone has it together, and I can't do it anymore. Can't do it. Be an adult, figure it out. Can't do it. Kids have ruined my patience. Have it only with them.
Yep. So now, one of the things you wanted to talk about was the pressure between posting solo content and posting content with other people.
Yes, that's a big thing. Some people, like most of the time when you start out new, things are going to be slow no matter what you do, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what content you show. You're not big
I'm gonna have you repeat that because connection just stopped. So when it comes back, well, I have no idea what she's saying. Oh, it almost came back.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so we missed about 40 seconds of everything you just said.
Okay, reverse, Terry. We're reversing. We're going back.
Back the truck up, Terry.
I'm the only one home. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
So in the
internet,
beginning,
sometimes.
I felt super pressured to make content with my husband because I wanted to be where everyone else was at.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the work needed to put into Twitter or Reddit or Instagram. And I just felt super pressured to go to my husband and go, we need to make this, we need to make this. And
Hey, get
months
over here
down
and
the
fuck
road,
me.
it's like, you don't understand. You get something out of this. You get rewarded too. But
This is a win-win for everybody, damn it.
But then I started meeting more girls through Twitter who are doing so good, and their stuff is all solo. And I was like, wait a minute, pause. It's just you. No one talks about this. When you start out small, everyone's like, make sure you have a partner. Are you doing boy, girl, girl, and girl? What are you doing? You need to make it extra spicy. But you don't need to do that. I learned that my solo content does a lot better than my content I make with my husband. And I think it revolves around the fantasy that it's just you. Like when people subscribe to me, they want me. Some of them really enjoy, me and my husband, but I think that kind of takes away from the illusion of this one, girl, if that makes any sort of sense. Like they're coming to my page for me. And some people do boy girl the whole time, couple only fans, and it does really well. I just feel that, you shouldn't have to choose. You should do whatever you're comfortable with, whatever is better for your lifestyle, and kind of experiment with your fan base and do polls. If you don't know what your people want, do a poll and ask a question. That's what I did.
Yeah, it's always guessing is usually the worst thing you can do. It's like, well, I think maybe I should, in some scenarios. I mean, not all the time. I mean, like when I started my website and whatnot, I didn't know what I was doing. I took a guess. So, I mean, sometimes it works out. But when you have an easily accessible, what should I call it? Database. If you don't exploit it, you're just kind of dumb. It's like you have all these people who subscribe to you and you want to know what they want. Ask them.
A lot of
it's
people
not that
are
hard.
afraid. A lot of people are afraid. I have this problem where I don't stop talking. So I'm very good at going.
That's great for a podcast.
Hey, like I have this, I have a couple subscribers who are subscribed to me for 6 months or 12 months. And they're the people I hit up for advice because I'm like, you really enjoy my content. What do you want to see more? What do you? And then they'll send me like paragraphs of what's the best part of my page and why they subscribe. And I'm like, okay, we're going to put that in a sticky note on my MacBook. We're going to highlight it and we're going to stare at it and go, okay, this is what the people want. And 90% of the time it's all solo content.
Yeah. I mean,
just ask them.
Even me personally, I prefer solo content. Sometimes, I mean, if like a blowjob video or something like that, I don't like solo in that regard, but the rest of the time, yeah, just I'm only subscribing for that one person.
Well, I think that works too, though. Like if you do boy on girl content, you can always do it in point of view. Everyone watches porn for the most part. I watch porn. I love point of view because it makes it more from like from what I'm seeing or from what the man's seeing. That way you don't see, you know, both of their faces, you know, once again, fantasy idea. So like we have a few like, but our only blowjob video is point of view and everyone loves it because of that. So it's basically him like this.
Yep.
And then I think two of our three boy on girl sex videos, they're both from his point of view as well. We only have one that's like third person, you know, no one really got hype about that. And then I started churning the gears in my head and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm starting to understand men better. This is great.
Yeah, whenever I give advice to creators, I just tell them, when a guy is watching your videos, they more or less want to pretend it's them that you're doing stuff
Yes,
to.
exactly.
So if you can do point of view or just solo, that's always great because, like I said, we're imagining that basically the dick we're looking at is our dick.
They're like, okay, so we're staring at my iPhone and we're just going to put it down here. And then, cause I do that. I do close up like pussy eating porn a lot, like for my personal self when I watch on my free time, which is always. And for me, it's focusing on that. And then I'm like, yes, let's pretend that's me.
Yep.
So I get that.
Indeed. So now, what's an experience you've had so far that you never in a million years would have thought would happen to you?
Wow. So I didn't really understand the whole humiliating, dumb, didn't mean to say that. What is it? Dom. I can talk. I promise. Dom
Words,
and sub
mouth,
experiences.
English.
Because I don't do that in my normal life. You know, my husband and I are very vanilla. You know, we get a little hot and heavy sometimes. But I never thought I would be bouncing around on my bed, barking like a dog.
What?
You know, with my hands behind my back and then drinking out of a water bowl. Yeah, it was probably a 2-hour session. It, you know, make good money, but I was barking like a dog. I was bouncing around I got mom.
Isn't that called
like,
pet play?
I think so, but it was pet play / jumping around, my boobs hitting me in the face. So it wasn't all barking. It wasn't all dog stuff. You know, and for me, I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but they want this. And they were really nice about it, you know, and like they let me know in advance. I love women. This is just my horrible fantasy. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I don't really do that in my personal life, but I live in an apartment. So my neighbors are probably hearing me bark, you know, for like 30 minutes straight. So that was interesting.
One of the podcasts I listen to is Your Mom's House podcast. And so they are fascinated with pet play porn. And so they find, well, Christina Pazitsky, the wife of Tom Segura, she'll find TikToks of people doing pet play stuff, and then they'll play it on the podcast. And it's just the wildest shit.
I went on a pet play subreddit because, you know, I kind of took a clip from that session. I'm like, let's see how well it does. And I realized real quickly, this isn't for me. I'll do it. I'll do it if you request it. But as far as me, you know, like I joked to my husband one night, I started making like cat noises because I'm like, let's see if this works. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just, it works with some people. I wanted to see, you know. My fans asked for it, but it was very interesting. It was like barking, but like twerking at the same time. So I'm not just like bark, bark. I'm like, my ass is flying in circles while I'm barking.
You know, I think I've actually seen a dog do that, but I think they had worms.
Oh God, probably.
So that's kind of related to what's the funniest thing that you've experienced so far? Funny stories.
Oh God, it's my video I did 2 weeks ago with bloopers. So I got my new butt plug in, you know, I don't have much experience with them, but I'm like, everyone says to do it. I'm going to do it. So I put probably way too much lube on it, like half a bottle, and I pop it in. And throughout the entire video, I'm like yelling at this butt plug. I'm like, stay. You need to stay. And those are the bloopers my fans wanted. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, how do people keep this in? This is not a good time, bro. And I'll like take my dildo and I'm like smacking it to stay inside of me. And at one point, the whole thing just pops out and it makes a sound. And I just start dying because I'm like, Guys, I'm trying so hard, and there's lube everywhere. I have 2 shedding dogs. There's hair all over the butt plug. There's hair all over my butt stuck to the lube. I was like, I really hope that people like this, because this is a disaster right now. And they did. They loved it, you know? And then that night I was like, hey, husband of mine, you want to try to have butt plug sex? And he's like, yeah, something new. We didn't know that you should do it in doggy position because it, you know, it sticks out. Oh no, we ended up basically, his penis ended up swelling and getting bruised because we used it in missionary. So on top of my video being just a shit show essentially with it falling out, I ended up like bruising my husband's dick for 4 days. And I'm like, the butt plug is just, it's just gonna go stay away for a little bit, you know?
We don't quite know what we're doing with this yet.
It's like, I promise I'm, you know, an adult performer. I'm just not used to this.
Just not used to the butt stuff. Forgive me.
I know how to use dildos. I'm sorry.
So would you say that's been your biggest train wreck so far?
Probably, yeah, is the butt plug thing. I did another poll for a video where I was like, let's try to get, you know, like throat fucked by my sex machine, but my gag flex is like right here. Like it's just bad. So during the video, I'm just like, do this. And I'm like talking to them. I'm like, guys, I'm trying really hard to do this for you. So that was probably second on the list, because I'm like, we're gonna try and do this. Just kidding. I'm gonna puke everywhere. Can't do that.
Hey, some people are into that.
That's why I put it on the poll, because I saw a bunch of other people doing it, and I went, you know what? We're gonna ask the men what they want, and they wanted that. But the video ended up being a hit anyways. You know, I ended up doing other stuff than just going, I'm gagging myself, because it was just not working out for me. A for effort though.
Yep, of course. So what's been your favorite experience from all OnlyFans so far?
I have this one subscriber. He wanted a lot of humiliation, and it ended up turning into like mommy dom, which is, instead of being super mean, like you're mean, but you're super nice. And he's been my most positive experience. You know, he works a lot, but throughout the week we'll have sessions. And I didn't realize that mommy dom was something that I was kind of good at, because I'm like already a mother in real life. And he's the only person, I guess, subscriber, someone that I've worked with, that after a session, he still like talks to me. So I've done a lot of hardcore like dom and sub sessions through videos, you know, back and forth. And afterwards, they just kind of dip out. And I'm left there going, wow, that was emotionally brutal. I'm going to go take a nap, because no one talks about aftercare. But this one subscriber, he makes sure that after, you know, we talk about raves, we talk about festivals, we talk about life. So we have our dom and sub session, and then afterwards it goes right back to normal talking. And that's probably my favorite experience. Whenever he's online, I get excited. I'm like, hey.
Awesome. So how would you say social media has influenced how you promote your OnlyFans and how you are as a creator?
Wow. So in the beginning, I only had my Instagram, and that was really bad. I'm really bad at Instagram.
I hate Instagram. Selective enforcement.
I hate it. I revamped it to where it looks a little cooler, but it's for aesthetic purposes only, you know. But then my friends were like, get a Twitter. And I'm like, okay. And then I found this one person that did like a whole paid promo thing for $5, and I shot up to like 500 followers in a couple of days. And then I started getting hit up by other sex workers. Hey, you should be part of our club, blah, blah, blah. And then since October, I think I'm over 12,000 followers on Twitter now. And that plays a huge role. I did a poll of, where did you find me? Was it Twitter? Was it Instagram? Was it Reddit? Was it real life? And about 80% of my people are from Twitter. So I'm on Twitter from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You know, I post my sexy photos. I post my funny photos. I'm dancing on Twitter a lot. You know, instead of trying as hard, I just started throwing myself on the timeline. I'm like, here's some out of pocket tweets, you know, And that's just impacted me so much. And I started getting good in terms of Reddit, still slowly figuring out subreddits, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. But as far as Twitter is concerned, I think for everyone, including new people, it's super important, because no one will know you have an OnlyFans unless they see you somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Twitter works. Some people, Instagram, is their golden goose egg. For me, it's Twitter. And I have some best friends that I've met through there in the industry.
Yeah, I hate Instagram because they selectively delete everything. Like, I don't post any nudes of the girls or anything really super provocative of any of the girls that I promote. And I've still had Instagram take my post down and send me warnings like, your account is in danger of being deleted. I was like,
oh, that was happening to me. That was happening to me. And then I stopped touching Instagram for like 2 months. And I'm like, so because I don't have 400,000 followers, you're going to choose the girls who, nothing against cosplay, you're going to choose the girls who cosplay in micro bikinis over my like actual rave outfit. I think Instagram is very unfair. They released a statement on Twitter not too long ago that they support sex workers and, what we post on Instagram. And we're like, why are you
that's
lying?
a joke. Yeah, that's a fucking joke.
We know what you're doing.
They support big creators who bring them traffic. I mean, okay, but if you're gonna have a set of rules, have it the same set of rules for everybody. Like, you can't have who was
you don't get to cherry pick who makes
Yeah.
Instagram better. That's why I hate it.
Yeah.
I've never been good. I have my personal account for like my kids and raving and like what I do in my everyday life. And then I have my revamped not safe for work Twitter, which is basically like my outfits that aren't too revealing. It's just it's butt and fishnets. So I'm slowly waiting for them to go account deleted. So here's to hoping not.
Yeah, I mean, even Twitter, sometimes they'll just delete accounts out of nowhere. Like last week, Brooklyn. Yeah, her Twitter got deleted out of nowhere.
That's been happening to so many girls. We'll be in group chats and it says user does not exist or user is suspended. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had a custom, like not a custom, like a commission made an art piece. And it was me in a top and a thong. And the person kind of did like a caricature of like me from the back. I put it as my profile picture on Twitter. My account got suspended. I had to go through this whole verification process and basically agree to never put that photo up again, and then change my photo. And then my account appeared and everyone was like, where did you go? And I'm like, Twitter hates me. And I wasn't naked, it was my butt. They're selective.
Yeah, same bullshit. I think the best social media platform for this is Reddit, at least for the time being. But even sometimes Reddit can get kind of shady. Like, one of the things I hate is false copyright claims. Because, not everybody is a good creator on OnlyFans. I don't know if you were aware of that or not. But when somebody will post, the truth about somebody, I don't know who these girls work with, but they'll get some company to file a DMCA strike on the subreddit, and then the post gets removed. And then it's almost impossible to fight it. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Fuck? Yeah, that's why on the subreddit, there are no pictures. There's no videos. Everything has to go to the mod queue to be approved. So if they link to something other than an OnlyFans or a Twitter or something like that, I tell them to change it before the post gets approved, because I don't want the Twitter to get taken down. I mean, not the Twitter, the subreddit.
See, I read through your rules, and I like how it is legit. It's only reviews, it links to other people's profiles. That's why you're like, hey, make sure, like, if you're talking about someone or opinion needed, a link is needed for that person's profile, because, I think you're doing a really good job with keeping it from getting shut down.
Yeah, and being overly spammed.
Because if you allowed photos, let me tell you, it would be just a disaster zone.
Well, I also have to keep a lookout for people trying to self-promote, because if I allowed that, the sub would just be a madhouse of everybody and their mom trying to, hey, I'm a good creator, come follow me, blah, 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 blah. And then I don't allow that. I mean, that's why I have people go through my process. Like, well, you're allowed to say whatever you want, but I'm going to verify whatever you're saying is the truth.
No,
Because
I think it's smart
transparency is not good.
because a lot of people who are new or a lot of people who don't respect rules or guidelines, if you
Mm-hmm.
go through other subreddits who don't have any rules, it's all the comments is all come to me, and it's like, please stop. We're here for a specific reasons. Like I go to Real OnlyFans reviews. I go to your page because I saw my good friend on there, Alexa, and I was like, hey, you have a really good review on this page. And she was like, oh my God, how did you find it? I'm like, well, it was easy. I just scrolled through, it's not a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I just kind of went through the list and saw your name, it was very organized and very clean.
Yeah, I really wish people would use the website more because it's more set up for doing reviews, obviously. Because on the subreddit,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can leave a review and it'll go, in whatever order. But on the website, it's just like Google or Amazon reviews, where every creator has their own page and all their reviews are listed and their rating gets averaged out. So if somebody has like a 4-star or 1-star, it'll average out to, what is that, 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So the website's a lot better for reviews. So
I love the
everybody
website.
out there.
I send it. I send it to my friends all the time, or I showed my husband because I finally saw my name on it, and I went, oh, "Look, I'm on this website. This is so cool!"
Yeah, you're on our best of the best list.
Yeah, he didn't understand. I was screaming. I was like, "You don't understand what this means to me." He's like, okay, celebrity. I'm like, no, stop it. My ego's not that big. It means I'm doing something right. Cause I'm very self-critical. I'm very like, I'm panicking. What do I do? You know?
Yeah, there is also other websites that are like mine that I've seen, but they're not honest in the least bit. Like these big creators from Instagram who have terrible OnlyFans, Britannia. They'll be,
yeah. I've went through the list.
Yeah, these big creators on Instagram who have OnlyFans are on other websites as having great OnlyFans accounts, and it's all lies. It's all fucking garbage. Like, I don't allow people to buy good reviews with my website, which obviously hurts me in the short term because, there are people out there who want to pay me for, hey, just say I'm good and I'll give you this much money. It's like, no, fuck you. I'm not doing that. As a customer myself, I don't want that done to me.
Some people asked me that because I was sharing your whole verification process, and some were like, well, are you paying this moderator for a review? I'm like, if you read through it, no. I'm like, it's all honest opinion, and everyone needs that. Like I saw an OnlyFans review on your page where it was some big creator. She was in the top 0 point something percent, but her page apparently was just straight garbage and a lie. And I'm like, see, it's honest, And also your percentage doesn't always mean you're the best. You could be in the top percentage and have crap quality on your page, or you could be stuck at 10%, but not enough people know who you are and have amazing content, And that's why people like you exist, to help others who have no idea,
Yep. That's part of the reason why
I get not gambling your money, we're in a pandemic, the world is ending, I understand not wanting to, spend $5 and go, is this person worth my time and my money? That's why I created a free page. Hi, meet me. Here's my personality.
Well, also, a lot of people straight up lie in their bio. Like last night, I posted an official review of, which one was it? I posted Bambi's Forest and Ellet Jor. I think it was Bambi's Forest. She says she does all these things in her bio. And after you subscribe to her page, she does those things, but you got to pay more money for it. So it's like,
okay, so she didn't say, oh, by the way, there's a paywall. She just said, hey, subscribe to me.
Yeah, she just says, I do solo toy videos, boy, girl, blah, blah, blah. Then you subscribe, and literally none of that is on her feed. None of it.
Oh, see, that's, I would never feel right doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm the type of person who's just like, hey, by the way, I don't feel morally right.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to do is bring more transparency to the platform. My website gives everybody a level playing field. It doesn't matter if you're a huge creator like Tucci Cash or somebody who's relatively unknown. If you're putting out great content, I'll put you on best of the best. If you're selling garbage, I'm gonna tell people you're selling garbage.
I'm gonna let people know that you're lying because we don't
Yep.
like those.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's only right in my opinion.
Well, I really appreciate that. Always on your page every day.
You're like,
Well, because I want to know what other people are doing. And that's not me being nosy. That's just, it's kind of like, it's, it's this industry in terms of virtual porn, we've always had Pornhub or Playboy, but as far as the one-on-one experience, this is a whole brand new thing. There's no textbook on what to do and what not to do. A lot of it is trial and error and figuring it out for yourself. So sometimes when I'm really like panicking, I'll go to review pages and I'll be like, okay, well, what are these girls doing? Because this is my only income. My husband and I, we both work, we're both financially stable, but if I don't do well, my kids don't get the quality of life they deserve. So it's not me being nosy. It's me going, okay, don't do that. X, Y, Z, do this better. I'm very, very self-critical.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but I think a lot of creators are also prioritizing the wrong things. I don't know if you saw a while back, I posted a poll on the subreddit of what is most important to you from an OnlyFans, and
I saw that.
Yeah, the overwhelming answer was, X-rated content. That's what you're subscribing for. And a lot of content creators, I'm not saying you or anything like that, but focus on fan interaction. Like, oh, you are blessed that I'm even talking to you. And it's like, well, it's not really what most people are there for. There are those people who want that, and by all means, give them what they want. But if you want a big business, I mean, unless you got a lot of rich clients, that's just not what's going to happen.
I definitely get that. That was hard for me balancing out in the beginning, my content versus talking to people versus shooting versus Twitter. I was at one time spending way too much promoting myself and not enough time on my page. My messages started getting stacked up, and I'm like, before you get overwhelmed and panic, you need to find a balance of what's more important. And for me, it started becoming quality and how much I post before anything. I want people to see that I have all these different photo shoots. I have 10 to 15, 20 photos per, like with my outfits or nude or completely nude or whatever it is that I'm doing. I started prioritizing what the people want to see. And then after that's out of the way, like I make goals for the week, then I'm like, okay, now I can talk to my people. A lot of it's trial and error.
I think that's a good model. Yeah, I think that's a good business model. I mean, do your work first, and then, well, how should I put this? Do your content creation first. Yeah, do your content creation first, and then do, the interaction. That way you don't have to split your time between, you can do all of this, then all of this instead of 50-50, because, jack of all trades, master of nothing. So.
Well, it's one thing to get subscribers, but it's another to keep them. That's the hardest part. I realized that over half of my people do have rebill on. It's not like that. That's really hard. And I'm like, okay, I started doing things correctly, and now my people are happy.
Yeah, 50% retention with OnlyFans is great.
It did not used to be that way, but the past 2 weeks, when I started redoing my schedule and how I do things, things started getting better. So as long as I keep it at 50 or above, I know I'm doing something right.
Yep. So if you were to do everything all over again, what would you do differently?
Oh, wow. Probably my first 100 photos, or what I was posting in the beginning. I felt I had to do 100 something every day. I was still working. I didn't know lighting. I didn't know angles. I didn't know what men wanted to see from me. And my husband is I don't know. So I think if I were to start over, I would have focused more on my, the aesthetics that I have. So people really like my butt. People really like my eyes. In the beginning, it was just, hi, I'm naked. And everyone's like, well, that's great. And then as time rolled on, I started posting more ass, behind, thing. And I focusing on my dildos. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. It was chaos. It was everywhere. So
your best advice to new creators would be what?
It would be find out what part of you that people are attracted to and roll with it. Figure out your brand. Are you princess? Are you gothy? Are you dom? Are you cute and flirty? You know, you need to like what part of you in general outside of OnlyFans do people hit on you for, you know? And then you build off of that, because I think brand is very important. What makes you different? What makes you different than that girl or that girl or that girl? What makes me different is I have this, I guess, giant ass, and I'm alternative, and I have piercings and tattoos and my head shaved, you know, and everyone loves my personality, and that works for me. So just, you have to put yourself into it, you know, don't overly do it. Yes, got to find your spark.
Find your tribe. Yeah, that's what Bailey and I were talking about last week. Just find who you fit in with.
Yes, I have a group of girls that are my, you know, my best friends. And then I figured out what kind of subs are attracted to me more, which helped me more with Reddit and my Twitter photos in general. You know, just don't overdo it. Don't be something you're not, you know, don't advertise what you don't have.
Exactly. The number one thing, don't advertise what you don't have.
If you don't have it, don't lie, because, you know, you're the only person with your body. No one else looks like you know, so you might as well just capitalize off of it.
So before we wrap up here, did you have any questions for me?
I don't think so. You know, I really appreciated this. I know I hit you up about the podcast a while back, and then I saw that I got a review posted, and then I saw you subscribe to my OnlyFans to check me out, and I started insanely panicking, and I was talking to my best friend, and I'm like, should I hit them up on Reddit? Like, I'm scared. And she's like, no, don't be scared. I'm like, I'm scared. And then I saw you follow me on Twitter, and I'm like, no, we're full blown panicking right now. Oh no. And then it all just magical. So I just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your best of the best list and the podcast in general.
Well, I thank you for, you know, having a great OnlyFans and being open to being on the podcast and website and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and for anybody else, talking. So
yeah, for anybody else, I'm actually a pretty nice person if you talk to me. And so don't be intimidated.
Yeah, everyone, you have to message them first, always.
Well, I do try to message other creators on Reddit. Most of them don't reply because they think I'm a scammer, which is understandable. But I'm not a scammer. I actually do this.
You just need to send a giant sign. I'm here to review you. But...
I'm here to help. Most people. Very nice. Well, all right, Miss Arwyn. That'll wrap it up for now. Thank you very much for being on the podcast, and we'll talk to you later.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And end.